Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl have finally released, and we're all having our fun with the game. They're adorable, charming remakes of a beloved region with entertaining characters. I'm continuing my playthrough as we speak, and am preparing some super fun content for you guys. But first, there's something we need to talk about. Reviews for Pokemon BDSP have been pretty mixed. And at the center of a lot of these mixed reviews lies a common topic of discussion: the art style. Now, I personally love the chibi art style, mainly because I view it to have been done right. Textures are great, lighting effects look brilliant, pun intended, and the depth effects give the game a layered look that it sorely needed to drive the art style home. Some people, however, don't seem to be taking the art style too well. Regardless though of what our stances on the art style are, one thing remains a constant for all of us. We didn't expect the games to look like this. Think back to when you first saw the trailers for the game. Like me, and like every other reaction video I've seen, one thing has always stood out. The chibi art style was a complete shock. We all thought the game would look like Pokemon Sword and Shield, but better, since that's what remakes have always done in the past. Take the previous title and make it look even better with the setting of a classic region. That's not what we got here though. Instead, we got BDSP as a prelude to the highly anticipated Pokemon Legends Arceus. No one expected this, and it was a genuine shock to gamers around the world. But what if I told you the developers themselves were also surprised? That's right, ILCA INC, the developers behind Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, have officially revealed to us their initial concept art for the games in the official Japanese art book for BDSP, which is available so far only at the Pokemon Center in Japan. Thanks be to Digmon100 for DMing me about this on Twitter, and shoutouts to Pokestarmy for taking these photos. Let's take a look at them. As you can see, the characters were going to be fully sized in a believable world with a fully immersive 3D camera. Follow Pokemon were going to be implemented as shown by this photo of Dawn with Ponyta. Pokemon were to roam the streets of Sinnoh, as depicted in this photo of Onix and Girafarig walking about in the city. They were also going to be fully sized, as Onix towers over the trainer and nearly matches the height of the surrounding buildings. Drifloon and other airborne Pokemon were to fill the sky. Once again, Dawn is seen with the follow Pokemon in the form of Luxray. This concept art shows us soaring the skies on top of a Staraptor. This is something we now see in Pokemon Legends, but not in Pokemon BDSP. Most curious, right? Have fun taking a look at the rest of the photos as I explain what happened here. Going back immediately to my point about flying on top of Pokemon, I mentioned this takes place in Pokemon Legends and not BDSP. It's clear that these concept arts were ILCA's vision for the Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl games. The saddest part? ILCA could have done it. We see their skills in game development shine through in Pokemon BDSP after all. The truth is, they were clearly held back on purpose by the Pokemon Company. Matter of fact, Game Freak took a lot of their concepts to use as their own in Pokemon Legends. I've talked in depth in podcasts with Kayla's Capsule about how Pokemon BDSP's visuals speak to the player to tell them that there are conflicting ideals going on here. It's clear Junichi Masuda restricted ILCA from using Platinum content. Just look at how sideways Platinum-themed elements were implemented in BDSP, only making their way in full via Pokemon box designs DLC outfits, one room included in the game, and post-game team setups. ILCA seems to have fought to include anything platinum they could, but could only get so far. Next, we see ILCA is restricted to the old Pokemon models and their lack of animation during battle, even though Pokemon Legends uses updated models and updated animations. This was most likely a restriction set up by the Pokemon Company, as the Pokemon models are made by Creatures Inc. Now, looking at how half of the content in these concept arts were ripped from BDSP's final product and stuffed in Pokemon Legends, leads to a logical conclusion that ILCA was stripped of their vision solely for the purpose of making 2 games instead of 1. Now, I'm not saying this is a terrible thing. After all, I mentioned, BDSP is super fun and the art style is really charming. And obviously, Pokemon Legends Arceus looks tremendously fun. But this is just another product of Pokemon purposely stifling itself for longevity. They prefer stepping stones rather than an entire bridge. And that's why Pokemon BDSP is the way it is, and that's why Pokemon Legends Arceus is the way it is as well. Either way, I'm happy to play the immensely cute and satisfying game that is Pokemon BDSP, and I'm also resoundingly excited to play the bold survivalist game known as Pokemon Legends Arceus in just 2 months. But I'm also dreaming of the day we get the game drawn here in these concept arts, developed by a company, that being ILCA Inc., that puts care and detail into their games. Let's hope decision-making in Pokemon continues to evolve in a positive direction. And let's also hope that after the success of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, ILCA Inc. is given another swing at the Pokemon games, preferably with even more freedom. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was insightful for you. Thank you so much for watching.